My name's Rob Dunnett. I'm Vice Chairman of Martlesham Heath Aviation Society, and it's the Aviation Society that have saved and look after this particular control tower at the old RAF Martlesham Heath. There had been all sorts of people in this control tower over the years, even repaired racing car engines in here, dance school, all sorts of things. And then it got into quite a dilapidated state, and I was coming up for retirement and thought it'd be nice to have this as a museum to record the history of RAF Martlesham Heath, which has a long history from 1917. And I tried to find out for over a year who would allow us to have it, and I was talking to a chappie near the door of the control tower one day, and I said, I'm looking for somebody who would allow us to have this. You know, I'm not sure on which committee I need to go to. He said, I know. And I said, who? He said, you need to go to my committee. I'm the chairman, and I can agree it. So there and then, within a week, I'd signed for it on a lease. The reason we have this really is because A, it was built for the Americans, but B, it's the Americans that have helped to finance this. Once we got hold of the control tower, then we had to clean it, and we needed money. And at a meeting in Savannah, in Georgia, I was asked what the situation was with regard to the control tower, and I said, well, we have it, we now have it, but we need finance. And they said, well, as you have it, we'll finance it, Robert.
My name's Howard King. I do the publicity for the Martlesham Heath Aviation Society. The bunker that is at the back of the control tower, we call it a secret bunker, just to make it a bit more than it actually is. It was actually an air raid shelter for the people in the control tower museum. As we reckon was built about 1943. The strange thing is it's not on any plans or anything like that, and so what we reckoned is that somebody in the control tower suddenly thought, what happens if we have an air raid on the airfield? Where are people going to go? So they basically dug this bunker, and it seems to be a standard sort of dimensions for this sort of thing. If you look at the top here, you've got some steep steps going down. The black little box over in the corner there, that's actually the escape hatch. If a bomb landed here and blocked this entrance, you then can't get out. So you had a separate escape hatch down the other end. Okay, so we're now inside the air raid shelter. There would have been other ones like this dotted around the airfield for various other people to take shelter. One of the things that they did also do around the airfield, they had slit trenches and so on that were dug in the ground, and people could just jump into them and get out of the way. They had a very bad air raid on Martlesham Heath in 1940 when the original control tower was blown up. So they then were without one for a couple of years, and they then built the one that we were in earlier. So as I say, this was the refuge. We have a few residents in here occasionally. There's a family of toads in here sometimes, so I think we're okay today.
Every control tower is supposed to be haunted. We did have a lady who was in the American room, which used to, initially when we first had the control tower, we just had the top floor. The bottom floor was used for something else. So behind me was our kitchen, our office, our everything. And this lady was tidying up. We'd had some visitors and it was dusk, and she said that she saw this young pilot at the top of the stairs in full flying kit beckoning her. And she was a very serious lady, and so we take that as being kosher.
We try and keep all of our exhibits to what the Martlesham was all about. And so the planes, the people, the artefacts are mostly what we're here at Martlesham Heath. The museum was created in sort of 2000, and we've gone on from that. We've expanded a little bit, of course. As well as a museum, we have this wonderful lecture theatre that I'm in at this moment in time. We have an overhead projector, and all of our groups that come, we usually give them a slideshow based on whatever their interests are.
P-47s were here to escort the American 8th Air Force in their raids over Germany. The only problem with them was their range was limited, and they could only escort the bombers to just inside the German frontier. Then fuel problems, although they did have drop tanks, they had to break away, and the American 8th Air Force suffered many losses in those days because the Germans realised the limitations of the fighters, and consequently the Luftwaffe did not attack the bombers to any extent until they were over Germany with a lack of fighters, and they lost many hundreds of aircraft and men during that course. Hitler was also keen on that because he felt that if the bombers were shot down over Germany, the Germans would see them coming down and would realise that they were actually working in their defence. It wasn't so keen on shooting them down outside Germany.